Hey, what's going on, my friends? This is Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. Today, we have a 21-year-old ex-college student who discovers the greatest asset known to man and also to woman. Welcome to the show. Taylor, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, Dave?
Not much, man. You are hanging out in your car. We're going to do a car show today, and I love
Yep,
it.
perfect.
Where are you at? Where are you calling in from?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma?
hmm
What? A corn husker, right?
the Nader state for sure.
Is that Nebraska? Wait, do I got my states confused there? Is that Nebraska corn husker? Matt's laughing at me because he's the sports fan and I'm the
That's Nebraska.
Close enough. Just the tornado state.
when you put your foot in your mouth in the first 10 seconds of the show. Yeah, anyways. So, okay, tornado state. I've got a funny story about a tornado. I was actually had a tornado hit my house when I was like 8 years old, and it took the roof off of my side of the house where I normally take a shower every morning. But for some reason, call it odd, call it God, I took a shower in my parents' bathroom that morning, and I may not be here. So I've got a little
That's
tornado experience in my life as well,
that's insane. I've actually
isn't
lived
it?
here my whole life and never had a tornado hit my house. So,
Well, you're the tornado that's hitting the internet now. So let's
yeah.
talk about that. So we say ex-college student. Are
hmm
you a dropout like I am, or did you tell us a little bit about kind of how you got online and what you were doing previous to coming online?
Okay, so I was in college at Oklahoma State. I found a job while I was there at a dispensary. Marijuana is medically legal here,
Hmm.
and had a good time. The classes I was in was all online, so I was working, and I ended up getting some opportunity and do some sales and other stuff in the company, and potentially could make a lot of money doing that. So I decided to take the semester off and see how that went. And I didn't end up doing so much of sales, but more of like trimming and stuff, which was really good pay, but it was only a couple times a month, really wasn't working that much.
Hmm.
And so I was
I've done
based,
some marijuana sales too. I've
hmm
worked in that. I've worked in that industry before.
yeah, I really
Many
enjoyed
years ago, many years ago. This was well over a decade, but this was actually when I was a teenager. But anyways, so yes, go on. You were trimming buds. You
so
moved from
yeah,
sales
trimming was,
over into service. There you
yeah,
go.
it was great pay. So I only had to work
Nice.
2 times a week. It was great, but that became a point where we weren't going to have any for a couple months. And I was basically faced with the
They
decision,
call that a bud shortage,
right?
right? A dry spell.
Right. And so I could either go work in the shop and work for the out by the hour or find something else to do. And luckily I came across Legendary through a TikTok and I was like,
Mm.
this might be the perfect thing to figure out how to make a passive income before trimming comes back up. And now I'm don't even need the trim anymore. So it has
You're
been
like, screw it, I'll go get rich online, right?
right. Yeah. No, my friends were like, thought I was crazy, but
Well, you are,
I had
but so
confidence.
am
I had
I. We all
confidence
are a
in
little
it.
crazy, right? You got to be a little crazy.
Right.
So,
So,
tell us about your, like, when did you come across Legendary and kind of how was your world or your eyes opened up to the possibilities when you enrolled in our challenge and started to learn?
so the challenge itself was obviously different. I had never thought about making money online up until then. And I think what really helped change my perspective was the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I ate
Nice.
that book up. Like I read it in the first like 4 or 5 days that I got it. I loved it.
Wow.
I really liked how you guys wanted to shift my perspective while you were teaching me about making money and
Hmm.
working for yourself. And so for me, it was just a really cool experience to learn to work for myself and not for someone else.
Yeah, that's cool. That's great that you took the suggestions and actually really did the assignments,
hmm
and have invested. I mean, you've enrolled in our challenge, you've enrolled in our blueprints. How is this education experience different than the education experience that you were having in college?
Oh my gosh. I mean, first of all, you're teaching me something actually that I can use, actual skills. No offense to all the professors out there, but I didn't take much from the 2 years of college that I took. I would also say just the team that you guys are and how you guys teach. You guys are just so encouraging and you actually care about the results. And that's like one of the first things I say when I talk about Legendary Marketer to my friends and family is just how great you guys are, how encouraging, and how you want me to succeed. And that's all I can really ask from a teacher. So,
Yay. Well, that's all we can expect from a student or a client, right? So it's just that you're getting a lot of value and you're learning and you're changing the sort of direction of your life, which is really cool. I mean, I'm always inspired when people who are in their 50s, 60s, 70s, even 80s, like take on a new challenge and go head in a new direction. But I'm also really excited when a young person, which my wife I was looking at some vehicles and I looked at one in a certain color and she said, that car might be a little young for you. So she just reminded me that I'm not quite a young man anymore. So I can be kind of like the cool uncle here and be like, I'm happy when young folks come through here and decide to change their lives. But I am. I mean, it's cool, right? I have a 21-year-old child as well. You know what I mean? So, I'm excited I wish I would have had this information sooner, although I found it when I was 24, 25. That was awesome that I did because my life would have been totally different if I hadn't, just curious, do you have student loan debt or anything from college or no?
I was lucky enough to where my dad was paying for my college. So I
Nice.
luckily went out with no debt, and he's an
He went out
entrepreneur.
with the debt. So how is your relationship with him based on some of the decision that you're making? Is he on board, or how have you navigated that?
He loves it because he is
He
an
does.
entrepreneur
Good for you.
himself.
I'm glad because I was hoping that there wasn't a ton of friction, but that's sometimes part of
No,
life. But
he
he
is
loves it.
like the epitome of like rich dad in that book. Like I was
Aw.
originally planning to go to law school and he hated that. Like absolutely hated that. He did not hide that at all. Like he was paying for me to go to school, but he didn't hide the fact that he did not support that. He thought I was going to be stressed my whole life.
So
So
can I ask you this? Like, I'm just curious. What did he think about the marijuana stuff?
he smokes. So he thought it was both my parents. So both my parents thought it was a cool job. They thought I was cool.
Oh
So,
man.
and he's
Is
just
he a successful business owner, or is he kind of like a dreamer and starts businesses and describe your parents just in a nutshell?
So my dad started in car sales as like 16 years old. He didn't even graduate high school, and eventually got to the point where he was managing them and then going to other dealerships to teach guys how to sell and just improve their dealerships overall. So they have a company based on that, and then he does quite a few other things that honestly I don't really know. I'm not even gonna lie, but
That's
my
awesome.
mom
That's
my
awesome.
mom is a lawyer, so that's actually what made me think to do that. And my parents are divorced, so if that
Okay.
makes you realize why my dad didn't want me to be a lawyer, that might have something to do with it. But yeah, both of them are just in awe about the accomplishments that I've made so far with this. They think it's awesome and they love it. So
Good for you. And I'm so happy that you're getting that validation from your parents and that support. I really, really am. I can tell that it's making a huge difference and you feel loved, you feel supported by them, right?
Right.
That's great. And those of you who have children, I mean, it's really difficult thing sometimes to let our dreams for our children go, and let them have their own lives and realize that we may have birthed them, but we don't own them, and that they are their own people, and to really love and support their decisions and direction, even though we may not understand it at first. I've had to learn to seek to understand rather than to judge and be critical. So I'm so thrilled that you're getting that validation and that support from your parents. It means a lot. Do you have any siblings?
I do have an older brother.
Okay.
And
Nice.
he actually is working in dealership right now in Texas.
Okay.
So
Gotcha. So you've come online, you started with affiliate marketing, you went through our training, you started to learn, you've now gotten back on TikTok as well. We'll throw your handle up, Make Money with Tay. So you've kind of chosen to go into the make money online space, which is what a lot of people do, because maybe they don't have, like yourself, maybe a previous expertise or experience with a particular niche. So you kind of go in and say, hey, I learned a lot, and maybe others might be interested in learning something similar. So it kind of is like it makes sense to take that next step. So what have you been doing that's working? Like, take us through kind of your journey so far, which has been about how long?
about a month and a week or 2 weeks.
Wow. So super new. So what have you been doing over the course of the last month or so that's been working, and what have you realized didn't work? Tell us some of your top learning lessons.
So I really utilize TikTok. That is actually the only platform that I've been using so far. I find that if you can just go through popular sounds, do something somewhat entertaining, or, tell a story of some sort, like you guys kind of say in the blueprints, that's really what has worked for me. I was lucky enough actually to where my very first video blew up and is like my second most popular video. So I think that helped me get that jump start and that confidence.
Yeah.
But before doing this, I spent a lot of time on TikTok just finding all different types of stuff. So maybe that's why it's easy for me to think of material when I see a good sound.
Yeah.
And I think honestly, really just TikTok is what I try to tell everyone if they want to get into this area, is that they really need to capitalize on that.
Yeah. It's really a unique opportunity. I mean, being in this business again, I'm an old man at this point. Being in this business for 10 years, for God's sakes, I feel like a dinosaur. But I really haven't seen anything this powerful in terms of just ability to get going fast, ability to have a video or piece of content take off and go viral. I mean, right now, TikTok, Pinterest is really exciting. And you can repurpose your videos, which you say you're not doing, and I support that. I want to dial in on that for a second. You guys can take your TikTok videos. You can remove the watermark from your TikTok videos, and you can repurpose them right onto. And if somebody would drop the software that you can do that with, if anybody knows about it, I think Roxy knows about it. But if you guys can drop that in the comments, but it's not necessary. And clearly you are totally focused on this one platform. And how are you avoiding shiny objects? Because it's such a common thing for somebody like you and me to be getting some results and then say, what else am I missing out on? And then start to spread ourselves too thin and diminish our results from what was working. So how are you staying focused, and how are you thinking about focus in growing your business by focusing on what's working and building on that?
I think for me, I've never been super on social media. Like, I've always used it, but I've never been someone that posted a lot or anything. And I think I just saw that TikTok, you didn't have to worry about the likes you were getting and the followers you had. It was like every video you sent out had a chance for a lot of people to see it. And for me, I almost think being in TikTok, I'm not even just focusing on that because I think that's all I need to do, but it's the easiest right now. I don't have to put in too much effort to get those followers and get those people interested in my content. So for me, it's honestly just been the easiest thing.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot of wisdom in that. What I've found in my life in business is that the most powerful and wise things I've ever done are also the simplest and even the easiest. And that doesn't mean that tough things don't pay off, like developing new habits. Like, obviously that's something that that will eventually pay off, like going to the gym or eating more healthy. But I've also noticed in my life that when I try to force things, that are really difficult. Like, say,
Mhm.
for example, I'm trying to if force. Oh, I'm doing video marketing, so let me try to go force the YouTube thing when TikTok's really easy. The harder it is and the more I dislike it, the less I do or the less I
Mhm.
want to do. So there's a
Mhm.
lot of value in actually liking what you're doing and
Mhm.
it being easy to do because you
Mhm.
want to do it more. So do
Mhm.
you find yourself in flow state because you are focused here, you're keeping things simple, you're not stressing out trying to
Mhm.
do too much early on? Are you finding your kind of flow in terms of content creation and ideas? How would you describe sort of the your content idea process, how you come up with ideas?
I would 100% say that I definitely have a flow going on with it because, like I said, I don't know if it's because I spent quite a bit of time on TikTok before, but I mean, I can bust out like 10 videos pretty quick, just finding good
Mm.
sounds and thinking of clever ways to kind of use them. And I think that's why a lot of younger people can take advantage of TikTok because it's a lot easier for them to learn, navigate the app, and they tend to feel more confident putting themselves out there because it's kind of like a lot of younger people are on. So
Yeah.
for me, I definitely agree that I definitely have some flow going on. And I think focusing on TikTok is what's worked best for me. And like you said, kept me from putting too much time and effort into something that I didn't really enjoy and stressing me
Yeah.
out. So,
I think that, like, for example, let me give you guys an example of what I'm talking about here with kind of just focusing on what's easy and focusing on what's simple. Like, there's a lot of you guys might be looking at TikTok like, oh, well, that's just simple. Like, that's just, I mean, what's there really? I'm just shooting videos, but there's so much more. Like what I teach in the blueprints and the fishing formula about the psychology of your customer, about really understanding the message that's going to resonate with them and developing
hmm
stories that when they hear feels like you're telling their story.
hmm
Every situation when you get good at telling the heroic story, which is what it's like, what happened, what it's like now, you can apply that to things in your everyday life. So it
hmm
doesn't have to just be, this is my life story and here's how I started doing this and why you might want to check out this product. It's also, hey, I just got into a fender bender today and here's what happened. And then you can tell a
hmm
story and relate it to business, or you can
hmm
relate it to marketing online. Or,
hmm
hey, I just was fumbling through some college papers and reminded about how many people are going down that path and have no idea that there's a different and maybe better and simpler and
hmm
easier and more lucrative way, which
hmm
I've discovered. So I can
hmm
turn just fumbling through some papers or checking and getting an email from my old college or reading an article about college, and I can turn that into a story that somebody that sounds personal to me because it
hmm
is, but it can relate and hit home for somebody who's
hmm
listening. And I believe that really is an art. It's part art, it's part science, but it really is a learned skill that the more you do it, the more that you get good at telling those short little stories and analogies.
hmm
That's really the big part of marketing, because whether
hmm
you're doing that on video or whether you're doing that in the written word, it's all about telling stories that make points and making points that kind of
hmm
are wrapped in stories. So, um, so as you're doing more content, creating more videos, are you building your confidence in your ability to be able to speak with some authority and not feel like insecure, like, well, I
hmm
don't have any results? Or how are you dealing with that, quote, what we call imposter syndrome or
hmm
insecurity about being new, but also needing to talk with some confidence so people listen
hmm
to you?
I would say that at first, before I had gotten any results, it was a lot harder for me to, encourage people to take the course because it's hard to say that when you haven't technically had much to show for it yet, other than, a switch of perspective. Um, for me now, I feel a lot more confident and definitely feel like I have the power to motivate other people to do the same. And, sometimes in the comments, people want to accuse you of being a schemer, lying, and all that other stuff. But I try to respond to them and just make it apparent that, it's not a scheme. I'm not here to deceive anybody. I'm trying to help you guys just as much as I want to help myself. And I think it really just boils down to, if I allow people to come into my DMs and ask me questions or concerns before they get started, I feel like that helps a little bit. Yes, people can ask me questions, but to what you're saying, I definitely think as the results start coming in, I feel more and more confident and more able to convince others that it's just as feasible for them.
Yeah. And so the question becomes, how do I bridge the gap between being where I'm at, having no results? And this is for any niche, guys. This is for any niche. Like, there's an element of if I'm going to teach other parents how to get their baby to sleep in the first 6 months of its life, it's I'm going to have more confidence if I've already done it. If I've already had a kid or two or worked with other clients and helped them to teach their children and gotten results from what I teach. So the only way to bridge that gap, guys, because I don't need to ask you this, Taylor, this is common sense, is to just keep doing your best to speak with confidence and authenticity and honesty until you start to get results. There's no shortcut. There's no or you can lie and you can use fake screenshots or whatever, like there's some people do out there. But the other thing to focus on is just edutainment, which is here's what I learned, and I'd like to share that with you. If you're interested in learning more like this, click the link, right? Or let me tell you so-and-so's story. We can also use other people's stories as examples. When you got started, before you had results and you had confidence, what were some of the types of content that you were creating to get started, to just get going and just get things off the ground?
So I was duetting some videos, trying to just kind of be hashtagging like financial motivation, stuff like that, try to get some followers and just kind of motivate people to take another step. I also one of the videos that did get pretty popular was me shouting out the blonde affiliate, Sarah, that was on here. Kind of telling her story in a sense, just how much she's made, not saying, I've made this much, but, here's a girl close to my age that's done this. And that was one of my videos that got super popular. So before I was able to have results, I kind of credited to her story a little bit. And that's what was working for me.
I like that a lot. And I think for all of us, there's an opportunity to look for other people that we can align with, not for any other reason except to be able to borrow each other's stories and to use and have more social proof. Like, hey, look, it's not just me. Look at her. Look at him. We're all within the same age range, or we're all similar in this way. And if this is you, and I also like people who are not similar. Hey, it's not just me. Look over here at Tom, Dick, or Harry, who's in his 60s, or Sally over here who still has her corporate job, but she's building a side income online with affiliate marketing or with selling her own courses. Look at these other people, and you can duet them. You can, if you're doing YouTube, you can clearly do screen shares and share their profiles, share their stories. There's so many different ways you can, if you're going to use one of their videos, you can ask them, hey, can I use your video? And then you can download their video and put it into just edit it into one of your own videos on Facebook or Instagram, or Twitter. It's so easy to just use somebody's story and write it out, maybe a picture of them, of course, with their permission. But the point you make about whether you're in contact with them or whether you just have people that you're also showing your audience as social proof, so you can lean on their experience and not just your own, I think is so intelligent. It's so powerful. Is there anything else that you think is just would add value to people who are listening? A tip or two that has worked for you?
I think one of the biggest tips that you guys gave me, at least during the challenge and maybe in the blueprints, was to take each step at a time, one step at a time, and have the confidence that you can get through that, because I hear a lot of people saying the same things where they're on day 7 or day 8 and they're so lost, they're so confused, and it's all overwhelming. And I think every single person has gone through that. And it's the matter of if you're willing to take the time to get through that instead of just giving up. And so that's one of the things that I always try to say is just don't give up, because I was discouraged multiple times and thought about it and I didn't. And I'm so happy that I didn't.
Yeah.
So, and I like to point out that I am 21. I had 0 experience going into it. So if I was able to do it, anybody else can do the same. And I really like to emphasize that in my videos and stuff.
It's such an important point, right? And I think we're so hard on ourselves thinking that we're supposed to understand everything right away, when in most trades or degrees that you have to get, it's years. It's years to understand things. I know for most professions, you've got to go through 4 to 6 years of college. Sometimes you gotta do internships. I mean, it's at trade schools or the same thing. You want to be a contractor. I wanted to be a contractor. You had to have so many years in the profession. You had to have so many years working under another contractor. I mean, it was years. And somebody who's going through 15 days of training is I see it all the time too, is sort of throwing the baby out with the bathwater on day 6 because they're like, or day 3, for God's sakes, like, oh my God, like, and it's like, give yourself a break, give yourself a break. Don't think that everything is going to make sense within that first week or two. Some of it is OJT, on the job training. You got to go out there and learn. You got to pick the tools up and learn how they work in order for the training to make sense. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, 100%. I definitely agree. I think you definitely have to at least try, even if you aren't succeeding or whatever, as long as you're kind of getting yourself out there and opening yourself up to new experiences and problems that you can solve. I think that's important.
It's one of the reasons why we do this show every day, is to try to give people a perspective that, you're probably your worst critic, and you probably have unrealistic expectations for yourself and what you're going to produce. And it's one of the reasons why we try to encourage those who are our affiliates, who are out there sharing our programs, to not use sayings like, I had to give somebody feedback the other day, turn $7 into 7,000, or, earn money within 15 days. And it's like, don't, if you're going to say something like that, give the full disclosure. You know what I mean? Like be honest with people. I think that we really underestimate the power of being honest and telling somebody, like, also the ugly parts of things, the not so pretty, the not so glamorous parts of things, because we think that's going to turn them off. But really, it builds more trust. How have you taken some risk or taken some chances, whether it's with telling people bad or tough parts about the business, or just being vulnerable in general? How have you begun to take risk like that, and has it paid off at all? Do you have any examples?
I try to make some specific videos just about putting in work, maybe not even necessarily about affiliate marketing, but just, if you want to change your situation, it's not going to come to you. You're going to have to put in some work. You're going to have to put in some time. And I make sure in my DMs and stuff, when people are really asking me the work that I put in, I'm 100% honest. I spent 2 to 3 hours a day for over a month trying to learn, with, making no money, spending money, and, sacrificing that for myself. And I try to be as upfront as possible, because the last thing I want to do is deceive anyone. And I definitely try to make videos specifically about putting in that work. So
yeah, it's interesting. I remember back when I was starting, like, I didn't want to use disclaimers. I didn't want to I wanted to make everything look like it was all peachy and rosy and easy, and there was nothing bad, and it was just the best and so much better than anything else they can do in the world, and there was nothing that was bad about it or hard about it. And what I learned is that when people heard that, they were skeptical, because they knew. And so I had to mature in my marketing and learn the power of building trust with people by being more transparent. And in doing so, they already know nothing's perfect. They already have ingrained in their head, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. Like that's ingrained. You're not, their parents or people said that all throughout their upbringing. You're not in one 30-second video going to rewire that. That's deep. So you can't make it sound too good to be true, because that's exactly what they're going to say to themselves. The more transparent, the more that we give them both sides of the coin. And here's a thing that I've done that works really well. And I was talking to a buddy last night, and he gave an example of a totally different situation where the kind of takeaway worked really well. Also, he's in the window business, and he said that they went down to this apartment or condo community and put on a wine and cheese kind of thing and presented their business to the people at the condo association, their window options. They were trying to win their business. And they said that the sales lady got up in front of the room on stage and just said, "Hey, I'm just only going to take a couple of your minutes. This is not going to be a hard pitch. As a matter of fact, we're not going to pitch you at all. I'm not going to follow up with any of you guys. And if you want to sign up today, it's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. Again, we're not even going to take your information and follow up with you. Everybody in the condo is either an apple, a banana, or an orange based on the type of condo that you're in. And the first ones to walk over to the booth and sign up, if you want to, are the ones who will get scheduled first. Our credentials and our work speaks for itself. You can look us up. We've got referrals. You can do all the research that you want on us. If you guys don't book us, we know that there's other business that's coming right around the corner, and we're not going to pester you or harass you. So enjoy the cheese, enjoy the wine. If you have any questions, come over and see me, and we hope to do business with all of you in the room, and it'd be our honor. And she walked off the stage.
I love
she signed up over 80% of the room doing that. Right?
I love that.
No bullshit. No long sales pitch about all this other stuff. She just kind of took it away like, "Hey, I'm not going to chase you. I'm not going to be desperate." And how that relates to us in marketing is sometimes when we're new, especially, we get into this desperate kind of, I'll do anything for you to buy through me so I can make a commission. And that energy comes off. It kind of like seeps through our skin. It's like we just, people can smell desperation. And so how does that apply to you? How do you trust the process, and how do you not get too kind of, chasing a commission or getting lost with the tire kickers and the question askers? I've always found that the people who spend the least amount of money have the most complaints and questions. How are you holding your ground is what I'm asking. And how does what I'm sharing apply to you, or what comes up for you as I say that?
I think my experience with that is the negative comments that I get about being deceitful and, I'm a part of a scheme, and, people will say pretty rude things and they don't even take the time to click on my link. You know what I'm saying? So I try to just be mature and tell them, if you are skeptical, just go check it out. Go check out the link. Go check out my video and your video. If you don't like it, don't take it. No one's forcing you to do anything. I'm just trying to show you my experience and something that is obtainable for you. Yeah. And when people are in my DMs asking me, "Well, send me proof of your earnings then, if that's the only way I'm going to believe you." And I say, I'm not going to do that. And if you don't want to believe me, that's fine. I can't make you do that. This is an opportunity for you. And if you don't want to take that, that's completely fine. But I try to just kind of
see what you're saying. You kind of want to defend yourself, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like,
I kind of just try to turn into, I'm not forcing you to believe me. And if you don't want to, that's fine. But my content's here for maybe you to get some encouragement to try something new. Maybe not even marketing, but just something to get yourself out of the situation that you've been complaining about or you don't like. So
yeah. And I can relate to that. It's interesting because, obviously I've had people just in general say that those kind of things to me over the years, friends and family even. And in the last couple of years, several people pop up and they start bashing us and bashing what we're doing, and thinking that that's a clever way to market. They're only actually making us look better by doing that, because they're proving to the entire world that we're we're the ones to take down. We're the ones that they're aiming for and probably secretly trying to be like.
Mhm.
And for me, I really know when somebody's attacking or when somebody's feeling extra insecure.
Mhm.
They want to call me out. They want to call us out. They want to project that insecurity on and try to make it seem like what I'm doing is wrong or bad, and what they're doing is better. And people are smarter than that. I know that people are smarter than that. So the way that I respond also, I'm never going to convince that person, nor do I need to, whoever is trolling, hating, doing the low level kind of insecure marketing. But the way that I react can influence other potential clients and customers, right? So how I react here at Legendary to trolls and haters and people and insecure marketers is maybe I'm not going to change them, but I can influence people who may be on the fence and who will see how I behave and say, wow, these people don't need to defend themselves. They just are doing their thing. And you, somebody could see you in the comments and how you respond, and you could earn a lot of respect from a potential serious buyer by the way that you respond to a troll. So I think that we all have to keep that in. We all have to remember that it's never about the person who's trolling us. It's always about the audience that's watching how we react. And I have built my career, my reputation, and defined my integrity by the way that I handle and react to people who attack me. And you also have to remember, if they're attacking you, you must be at the top, right? Because nobody calls out and attacks people who ain't making moves.
Right.
But does that resonate with you about building your integrity and building your reputation and building and also earning business from people who are watching versus trying to win over some troll? What comes up for you as I give that perspective?
That is 100% what I try to do. Half the comments that are negative, I just delete them. I'm like, get out of here. The other half, I respond to almost utilize that, because I know if one person comments that, at least 100 other people are thinking the same thing. And so I try to use that comment to, my answer, so that someone else that goes in the comments that might think the same can get that answer as well. So almost utilizing those bad comments in my advantage, so that way I can respond to some of the things that people are thinking, but not necessarily commenting.
And I think that's the thing that's so every move is an opportunity. And a lot of times we get afraid of negative trolling and insecure people and marketers and people who attack us and so forth, right? The first reaction might be, oh God, nobody likes to be attacked, right? But how we respond to it can be a marketing strategy in and of itself, right? And just like you say, people open up the comments and look at what other people are saying. It's a natural human thing. People are social creatures. They want to know what other people are thinking. And so how you respond to a comment, my suggestion to all of you, it sounds like you really kind of got this and are kind of utilizing this, is to get good at responding cleverly, not passive aggressively, because people can sense that's small energy, but responding transparently and also with esteem, with self-esteem. Like, for example, somebody posted in one of our groups, I don't give a shit who's trolling us and me and everything, because people think they can fill these shoes. They don't know how big they are. Somebody said, there's some people that are bashing you on TikTok, and I appreciate and love all of you guys who have our back. I got your back too. Like, people go in there. But here's what I said. I said, the people bashing us on TikTok don't realize how much it's not hurting us and how bad it makes them look. And I don't feel the need to go out of my way to tell them. And I think that for all of us here's the simplest way that I can wrap up this thought, is that when somebody's bashing, when somebody's trolling, when somebody's insecurely throwing stones because they're projecting their own shit onto you, Don't worry about them. Know that your response is going to affect those who are watching. And you have a chance to earn a lot of people's business who maybe didn't even watch your video, but just opened the comments right up and saw how you move and how you work right there in the comments. And I think we got to get good. It's a strategy. Get good at responding to comments with big energy, with a confident energy, but not shaming. There's a balance to not being a doormat, but also not letting people walk on you. When you feel confident and you feel esteemable and you feel okay with yourselves, then that's when you can get into kind of your creative sort of responding, witty nature. And you again, you're not a doormat, but you also are not somebody who's kind of, you don't need to go out there and put people down. I don't need to match blow for blow, right? I like when somebody trolls me to take more of a humble stance and be like, look, that's not the game I play. Sorry you're feeling like that, but I'm on a new level. I'm just not on the same level. You know what I mean? And people can sense that energy. Would you agree?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree.
Yeah.
I think also too, it's funny that some of the videos that I have had blown up, people will comment and it's almost like they don't expect me to reply to them. And there's been like a few people that I have replied to and they've almost backed down. Like they'll say something like, yeah, you're not getting money from me today. Sorry. And then I'll say something like, if you're not willing to spend $7 on something that could potentially make you an unlimited passive income, then this challenge isn't for you. And I got a lot of people commenting back on that and liking that. And so.
Right. It's the takeaway, man. That's the non-desperate energy, that takeaway. And the psychology behind that takeaway is just that people want something that they can't have. So if you're desperately begging, basically, and I don't mean like literally like please, 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 but there's a desperate energy versus taking away. Like, I don't care whether you do it or not. Like, man, people lean into that because they want what they can't have. And if they sense that you don't need their business, then they want to do business with you even more.
Yeah, I agree.
And that is a proven, like the guy or gal who walks into the room, if there's two people that maybe you're thinking about doing business with, the person who really needs the money, needs the business, is less likely to get the business than the person who's like super successful. Because humans just naturally want to work with people who don't need their money, who don't need them.
That's kind of like any relationship.
It is, man. It is. I mean, the person who's chasing you, like you go out on a first date and they like get crazy with texting and following up and like seem like they have no life except now you're their obsession. It's natural. You kind of look at them and you're like, yo, this dude or this chick is crazy, man. Like, and it's just unattractive, right? Whereas even though it sucks, right? Sometimes playing hard to get, works.
That's what works. Yeah.
That is what works. That is what works, especially on us dumb guys, right? Because man, I mean, we love a chase. You know what I mean? We love a chase.
I think that can apply to most things.
It does, and it applies to all. It applies to all. It's not just males. It's everybody. We love a good chase. We love to have what we can't have, or what it appears we can't have, and to use that psychology in our marketing requires some esteem. It requires us to amp up our confidence and to act as if we're already successful. But that's this mental conditioning piece that we talk about so much. So what is if somebody was thinking about coming into our community, coming into Legendary, kind of on the fence, maybe on a checkout page or maybe checking us out, what would you tell them that your experience has been in a nutshell? And if you would recommend them to get started and kind of come and learn from us and run with us?
I think my personal experience is absolutely just loving the community aspect that you guys provide with the Facebook, in general. Just I remember when I enrolled in the blueprints and I think I got like a personalized video from you saying, hey Taylor, like thank you for joining, yada yada, just kind of that acknowledgement of every student you guys have. It's just so important. And I think anyone that's questioning starting this should definitely give it a shot, because you really have nothing to lose and so much to gain. And not only that, but you get a community of people that want the same for you and are willing to help you. So I love all of it.
Yeah. Well, I'm proud of you, and I'll join the club right with your dad. I'm really excited, and I'll be your hopefully cool uncle. Okay.
Awesome.
So I am really just excited for you and happy for you. And just, you're just such a bright young lady, and you got so many cool things ahead of you in your life. So keep up the good work and come back and keep us posted on your journey. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you. It's so great to talk to you.
All right, Taylor. See ya.
Bye.
All right, my friends. What a cool young lady. Go and check her out, okay? Over on Make Money with Tay on TikTok, and you can check her out. Go from there. She's not on any other platforms, as she said. So, my friends, lift her up, all right, and lift each other up in this community, because this is a really unique thing that we have each other who are sort of on the same path, doing similar things, maybe in different niches, maybe promoting different products. Totally fine. We're all sort of on that same mission, and we don't always find that within sometimes local friends and family, and that's totally okay and totally normal. Okay. We're the weird ones, a little odd, a little out there. And it's always kind of been like that. And I'm just happy as I find more people who are on the same path that I am. And so cherish each other and lift and support each other within our community and who are on the same mission. And that energy will come back to you. And we will see you all back here tomorrow for another episode to wrap up the week.